Alright, y'all. Welcome back to the Book Stamp. My name is Kate, and today we're doing a rant review. First time I've ever done one of these. Supposedly, they're what people want on the booktube. It's what does well. It's the hate stuff, the negative content. But y'all, I did not like this book, Majesty by Katherine McGee. And what sucks, I loved American Royals. I rated it 4 stars. I thought it was the perfect, like, feel-good, cheesy, YA, new adult. It might be adult, I'm not sure. It's not, like, sexy, but the characters are older. And I really liked it. I thought it was so clever. I thought it was so fun, and, like, it wasn't trying too hard to be something it wasn't. And we get Majesty. Y'all, I gave this book 1 singular star. Solely because, was it bad? Like, was it poorly written? Was it problematic? Only a little bit. It wasn't, like, glaringly problematic. It was just that when I felt such positive, warm, full-hearted feels after American Royals, and then I literally did not want to finish Majesty because I was so upset with the characters. Like, how you have that much of a character shift for me just boggled my mind. This rant review comes to you in 3 parts. Part 1, relationships we cared about. Part 2, Queen Beatrice. Part 3, misogyny. Part 1. So all of American Royals is setting up sort of our 3 main relationships. 4 if you count Daphne. But you've got Beatrice and Connor, you've got Teddy and Sam, and you've got Nina, Prince Jeff, and Daphne's just trying her hardest over there. Daphne's real relationship is with Hamari, and I will die on that front. But, so you have the whole book setting up these 3 main relationships, and you kind of have the whole Midsummer's Night Dream scenario where everybody kind of loves the wrong person. And I guess I should have expected that in Majesty, everybody's gonna shuffle around. But I just don't understand narratively how you build up all of these relationships when the book is a romance book. It's about these relationships. And then in the next book, everybody has a new partner. And, like, I do understand them all on a character level. I get why Nina and Jeff aren't together. And I do think it makes, like, they all make sense. And I understand narratively why they all happened. It just makes me mad that I invested and cared about all of these people as couples, and then you put them with someone I don't like. Like, do Sam and Marshall work, and am I happy with their relationship? Yes. Do Nina and Ethan work? I don't care. I don't care about Nina. I don't care about Ethan, because you didn't build them up correctly in the first book for me to understand that shift. See? And then, moving into my second point about Beatrice. Beatrice was my favorite character in the first book. Beatrice is still my favorite character. Well, maybe not. Because of the tragedy that was done to her in this book. You have the whole point of the book that is building Beatrice up as a woman who makes her own choices, and she loves her guard. She's not tied down by all of this shit. And then in the next book, she just fucking falls in love with Teddy. Bland piece of cardboard Teddy, who literally only cares about her to get her fucking money. Like, are you kidding me? You literally put her with the gold digger? Except Connor, who would literally die for her. Her and Connor, the chemistry was there. It was so cute. They clearly loved each other. And, like, I think that's honestly what your royal needed, was someone who loved them unconditionally and didn't care about any of the other politics and was an emotional support for them. I think that is what you built up Beatrice to need in the first book. And then in the second book, now Beatrice is all of a sudden queen, and now she's like, no, I actually need a political alliance. And it's like, what the fuck? The whole other book was about how she didn't need a political alliance. And the whole political machinations of this world make no sense. I mean, they actually make perfect sense, but I hate them. This is a feel-good romance. It is not an analysis book about how the U.S. would actually govern as a monarchy and why the U.S. is sexist and racist and homophobic. Like, that's not what I needed. That is not what I wanted in Majesty. I wanted a feel-good, fun book. Look, we had royals and things turned out better. That's what I wanted. I didn't want a whole book about how people are racist at Marshall and they're sexist at Beatrice. Like, I didn't want that. And then you are telling me that Beatrice, this woman who her entire life has been studying the Constitution. Her dad has raised her to be a monarch. And his Chamberlain, Robert, is then literally violates the Constitution of the United States with Congress to not let Beatrice speak. She shows up in her full regalia to Congress to give a speech, and Robert just tells her to go the fuck away, and she does? And she doesn't fire him? Why was he not fired on the spot? Why was he not fired after that? It's not until he literally becomes a cartoonish misogynist villain at the end that she actually fires him. When she had that power all along. And like, her sister's best friend is Nina, whose mom was the other Chamberlain. And she could have called this like awesome lesbian woman of color to be her Chamberlain instead of fucking misogynist Robert. And like, how her dad hired both of those people at some point. Like, it makes no sense, and it made me so mad. It made me so mad that Beatrice was like basically let everything happen to her in this book. Like, everything just kept happening to her. She didn't go after Connor, Sam did. She like only fired Robert when Sam basically was there telling him off. She like didn't even pursue Teddy. Like, Teddy was finally like, yo bitch, I need you for your cash, and she was like, meh, fine. Like, it was just a slander to her character, and her and Connor were so cute, and I loved them so much, and I'm so upset that, like, that didn't happen, and we didn't, and instead we're gonna be, like, have all these sentences about how Sam's like, you really think I'm not any bet, like, that we have to protect the reputation of my family that was, like, enslaved people, and it's like, but you can't be with your guard because he's a commoner? We're gonna make up some whole plot that she needed something else in her life. We didn't get the resolution with her dad. He just killed, like, just all of the narrative choices in this book made me so angry. It was supposed to be like a fantasy escape about a world that was better than ours, and it ended up being worse. And like, that just really makes me mad. Side note on Daphne. Daphne was like one of my favorite characters in the first book. Like, there was Beatrice, who was my queen, and then Daphne, who was like she was awful. She was a bitch, and I loved her. But also, you put all that tension between her and Hamari. Like, those two girls clearly love each other. They are in love. They should get married and rule the US instead of fucking Beatrice, who can't fire a misogynist. I said it. Controversial take. Hot takes with Kate. We're back. But yeah, they're clearly in love. Her whole, like, Daphne is gonna throw her whole life away for Ethan. No. No. She's gonna marry Jeff, hate her life, but get power, which is what she wants. Also, you're gonna tell me Daphne is gonna ruin her entire relationship with the royal family to get Hamari sent away? Like, that was the worst political move I've ever seen. Like, she just laid her card out there. Like, it was so poorly done, and Daphne would never, it was just so out of character, and it was not clever enough for her. Like, she would hold that card and find a way to, like, subtly manipulate. Like, you know, she would not just, like, tell the queen, like, do what I want, bitch. Which is what she did. Like, it made no sense. And, like, just throwing away her character, she ruins Nina's life again. Like, poor Nina. But, like, you're gonna write Daphne as that compelling of a villain, and then just, like, you threw away Daphne's entire character, and I don't know, is there gonna be a third book? Because it didn't feel super resolved, but I hated it, honestly. Really did not like it. Sam and Marshall was like the only highlight. They were cute and I liked them. Also, like, it didn't make sense that he got that mad about it being Teddy. Like, whatever. I didn't like it. 1 star. 1 star. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.